Hi there and welcome to Loopy Mabel's Closet. My name is Jane and today's vlog is all about a little sewing collaboration I've been doing with my lovely sewing friend Rosie from Rosie Sews Modern Vintage, and we just thought, so let's do something where we both make the same outfit. Let's not tell each other what fabrics we're going to use and see how different our styles can be. So stay tuned. Hi and welcome back, and if you've just found my channel and you'd love to follow along with what I do with my sewing journey, then please hit the subscribe button and then you can follow along with me. Yes, so Rosie, my friend, we've been friends for over a year now, simply through Instagram, and we got chatting. We both vlog on YouTube and we just hit it off right at the beginning, right last year. And then we did our sewing challenge last year, our swap share sew challenge, and that was a great success. And we haven't worked together since then, but we're always in communication. We're always chatting on Instagram and through WhatsApp and what have you. And we've got two different styles, me and Rosie. I like vintage, but I'm not vintage. I'm vintage inspired. I like to look at, you know, the days gone by and the fashions of days gone by, and I like to add a little bit of a flavour to what I wear, to my outfits. But Rosie is much more vintage than me. She wears lovely vintage hairstyles. She has vintage style glasses, and she's got very I think she loves the 30s, 40s and 50s, so she really does have that vintage flair. So we've got different styles. So we just said, shall we just do something together again? A bit of fun. Can we both squeeze in the time? And we said, yeah, of course we can. And what should we make? And we both said we fancied making a jumpsuit. So we both said, how about the Cressida Jumpsuit by Sew Me Something? Now, Rosie's made this before, and that's one of the outfits I absolutely loved when I first got to know Rosie. Absolutely loved that outfit she made, and I always thought, right, I'm going to have a go at making the Cressida jumpsuit. I never made it. I've had the pattern for over a year. Just thought this would be perfect time for me to actually make it. So we've given ourselves, I think it was about 4 weeks to get it made from start to finish. So, and we thought we won't tell each other what we make. We won't tell each other what fabrics we're going to make. We won't know until we do our vlogs. So I have no idea what she's made as yet. So on to the Cressida jumpsuit. Now I'll pop a picture up of the actual pattern. I haven't got it printed off. I didn't print off the instructions this time. I just went off the screen rather just to save some paper. But yeah, I've always admired this pattern, and as I say, I've had it for quite some time. So the fabric I went for, which I bought nearly a year ago, I bought it from Minerva, and I bought it in August 2019, so almost a year. It's been sat on my shelf. I must stop doing that. I must only buy fabric when I've got something planned for it, because I bought it because I really like the ditzy print. You know me, I like a little bit of a ditzy floral, but I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I bought 3 metres, so I don't know why I ordered 3 metres. I maybe did have some idea at the point of ordering it, but then when it arrived, complete blank. Had no idea. So on the shelf it sat, and because it was a Lady McElroy and it was quite expensive, I didn't want to just cut into it willy-nilly into anything. I wanted it to be something really special, so I just kept it, and it never got used. And I just thought the Cressida jumpsuit, I knew it's going to take quite a bit of fabric because it's a jumpsuit, and I thought this would be perfect. So as I say, it's a Lady McElroy, and it's 45% cotton, 55% linen, and it's a medium weight fabric. And I absolutely love it, and I think it's just been perfect for this jumpsuit. Now, it was 54 inches wide, the fabric, when I ordered it, but when I pre-washed it and come to lay it out on the cutting table, it wasn't 54 inches wide anymore. It was just squeezing 50 inches wide. And the pattern, I did size 12 in the jumpsuit, and the measurements for the fabric you needed was 3.1 metres, and I only had 3 metres, so I knew I was going to have to do a little bit of pattern Tetris. So because it was the fabric was so long, 3 metres of fabric, and my cutting table isn't, and normally I pin out so many pieces and let the fabric hang down and then cut it and then move it along and put the rest of the pieces on. I didn't, because I needed to play pattern Tetris, I didn't dare just put them on and cut any old house, so I had to put all the fabric out along the hall, on the carpet in the hall. And then literally I must have spent nearly an hour trying to squeeze this pattern onto my fabric, because as I say, it shrunk a few inches, so it wasn't as wide as it was originally. And obviously I was short by 0.1 of a metre anyway. So in the end, I managed to get it all cut out as it should be, apart from the belt. So I did really well. So I'd got the belt cut out, and I managed to get, because the belt comes in 2 parts, so I couldn't get the 2 parts out on the fabric. There's just nowhere, it didn't have any length left to get the belt cut out. So I managed to get the longest part of the belt cut out, and then I had to cut as much as I could on the second part of the belt, and the shortfall, I then had to cut that shortfall on the fabric, but I had to go across the fabric rather than down the fabric for about that much. And I'll show you that in a minute, and that's like in the centre part, and I just joined it up. So instead of the belt being in 2 pieces, mine's in 3 pieces, and it's slightly shorter than the pattern pieces, but only fractionally, and it's long enough anyway. I'll show you when I stand up. And obviously I'll put some pictures up of me wearing it in the garden. And the other thing I like about this fabric is because it's got a few colours in it, I can obviously wear it without anything underneath, but then I can, like I've got today, wear it with a contrasting top that picks out the colours in the jumpsuit. And I had to put the buttons I've chosen, I had to go for wooden buttons, and I had to just go across to my local store in the town near me just to see what buttons I could get. It took 6 buttons, and I've got a fantastic button tin, but nothing that was 2 centimetres wide, a nice chunky size button. Mine were all like pretty buttons, but not quite big enough. And I thought, oh, I'm going to really struggle getting buttons, because that was all that was available in my local haberdashery shop. So I went for these wooden ones, and actually I quite like them now. So I'll stand up and show you. So as I say, it's a jumpsuit stroke boiler suit, and you've got the belt with it. So it doesn't have any belt loops, which I don't know whether to add some in. I don't know whether it needs it, because this fabric has got a lovely texture to it, and I'll just try and see if you can pick up the texture for the fabric. It's got like a little bit like a waffle texture. Can you see? And really nice medium weight to it. But the white little ditzy flowers, they seem to be printed onto the fabric rather than being part of the fabric. So I just have to remember when I'm pressing it to use my pressing cloth, because they could end up melting, which is a bit weird. But anyway, so as you can see, so the colours, I've got this lovely old gold mustard colour, olive green in the leaves, a little touch of darker blue, and obviously the white ditzy print, and then obviously the taupe background. So I've got quite a few colours to play with and mix and match. And these are the buttons, which I think they're okay. I think they're quite nice actually in the end. And obviously here is the belt. So I'll show you what I mean with the belt. Now I've got my belt like back at the front and then round my waist, because it's a really decent length belt. And there is my join there. So I've got a join at the back there, and there's my second join there. So I've got a long piece, my middle bit, and then another long piece. And then I just top stitched all the way around the belt. So as I say, you can wear it with the belt as I was, or you can also wear it like a boiler suit effect, which I quite like. I quite like that style. It's very loose and very pyjama-ish feeling. So I could get used to that. I think it's quite, yeah, I quite like that look. And it's got the 2 little pockets at the back. And as I say, it's quite a loose boiler effect to it. Now I'm glad I went for the size 12. I almost followed the sizing, your body measurements instructions, which would have took me to the size 14. But when I looked at the finished measurements, it would have absolutely swamped me totally. So I went for the 12, and I'm so glad I went for for that size, because it's just perfect. So it doesn't look overly big, it just looks like a really loose boiler suit. And then again, it's got quite a relaxed crotch to it. It's quite low, the crotch, which is I quite like as well. And obviously you can wear the belt any way you want, but I've just tied it, wrapped it around the back. But you could just tie it round the once and tie it in a bow. And I've just got it like that, and I quite like it with the belt. And then it's got two lovely deep side pockets on a nice flattering angle, and I've just top stitched along both sides there. And I tell you what, it was an absolute dream to sew. I just folded over the sleeves, and I just top stitched on the sleeves on the outside and on the underarm, just to keep those like cuffs in place. And I've done the same with the leg. Just show you what I've done exactly the same again with the hem. So they're permanently folded over, just stitched there and stitched on the other side. And I just folded them over, I think it was 1.5 centimetres twice, and they're permanently folded over, and they're just an ankle graze length, so they're not to the ground, just graze, yeah, my ankles, which is a really nice length, and I'm really pleased with it. So and the collar, I'll sit down now and show you the collar. The collar was an absolute breeze. I was thinking, oh, here we go, collars and angles and snipping into cut. I hate the snipping part, because I always think I'm going to snip to the wrong place, and then it's too late once you've snipped. But this pattern from start to finish was an absolute breeze, an absolute pleasure to make. A little bit like my wide leg pants that I did by Peppermint magazine. That was a pleasure. They were a pleasure to make. And this was exactly the same. The instructions absolutely spot on, as always, by Sew Me Something. And yeah, I can't fault it at all. I really do like it. And I'm so glad I made it. And I'm so glad I kept this fabric, because I knew I had to make something really special with it, and I'm so glad I kept hold of it, and it has been made into something really special. I really do like it. So I really fancy having a go at making it again. I've got some lovely medium weight linen hanging around, so I really fancy making maybe in the linen, and I think it would look lovely in maybe a chambray or a soft denim. And you could make, I mean, obviously I've made mine ankle graze length, but you could make them a little bit longer, and or you could make them a little bit shorter. The options are there in the pattern to lengthen or shorten the legs. So for the buttons, all I did, because I wanted them to be spot on, I just, that's the pattern for the front piece, and there's the button marking. So all I did was measured the distance between the buttons. So I found the distance for them, and then I put my first one on where I wanted it to be roughly, and then I measured the distance for the following 6. So I got all them measured with my erasable pen, and then obviously I had a 2 centimetre button, so I wanted to make sure that my line was big enough for the button to go through. And then I measured the same distance from the beginning of my buttonhole to the edge of the placket type of thing. So I think it was 1 centimetre. So there's 1 centimetre from the beginning of every buttonhole. So every buttonhole is spot on. And a breeze again, but obviously the buttonhole stitch is a breeze on most modern machines now. Mine's an absolute breeze. You just plonk it on, line it up with where you want the buttonhole to be, and the machine does it itself. I always sit with it and make sure it's keeping straight. I don't trust it that much, but it always does the buttonholes absolutely fine. And then I just stitched then obviously cut through the buttonholes, made sure they were spot on first, cut through the buttonholes with my unpicker, and then just used my erasable pen and just made a little dab hole through the centre of each hole for where the buttons would be underneath, and stitched them on. Super simple, and as I say, the collar is just absolutely gorgeous. Really loved how simple the collar was. I was like all the way through, I was thinking, oh, any minute now I'm going to be stumped. There's going to be something coming along on this pattern, like my Jenny pants, where I'm going to be stumped for hours on end. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. And if I added all the time, because I did it in a few stages, I did a little bit yesterday and I finished off today. If I added all the time I took to make it, probably 4 hours, probably 2 hours yesterday, 2 hours today. So really easy, simple make. And if you're fairly new to sewing, or you want to get, you know, your confidence is still a little bit wobbly, then this is really good to have a go at, seriously, because you do them in sections. You do your top half first, and because the sleeves are grown on, there's no sleeves to mess about with. You sew the shoulders, then you sew the sides, then you just do your doing your turn-ups, and basically that's your top half done. Then you do your trousers, so you just put your pockets on, and then you stitch your trousers together, and then you stitch the bodice to the top of the trousers, easy peasy. And then you just sew your facing, which goes all the way around and down the placket. Sew the facing on, turn it through, there's your facing, just turn it through to the other side, and you're just about done. Put your buttonholes on and then do your hems, and seriously, that's as simple as that. And then make your belt. And you don't even have to have a belt, you don't have to make a belt if you don't have enough fabric, because I was thinking, well, if I don't have enough fabric, it's not the end of the world. I'll just wear it with a brown leather belt or no belt at all. But I did manage to squeeze it out. And that took me quite a while, as I say. So I love it. It's really comfy, and I went down and showed my mum through the glass window, because my mum and dad are still shielding, and my dad gives me the thumbs up, and my mum said, "Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous, give us a twirl." And yeah, so I got the approval from parents, and can't wait to show John. And can I just say thank you everyone that's made some lovely comments over on my Instagram for my lovely precious husband John, who's in hospital with pneumonia at the moment. It's a really worrying time for me, so this sewing is my saviour. It just took my mind off worrying about John, because obviously we can't go and visit him, which is absolutely awful. And because he's got an infection with his pneumonia, it's made him really confused, and he doesn't understand why I'm not there, which is absolutely awful for him, bless him. And so I've just been sewing and creating, and just switch my mind off, just to get through, because obviously I'm on my own, and it's absolutely awful. But I'll keep you all posted on him, and I'm hoping he's going to be coming home in the next few days, fingers crossed. But I will keep you posted, and thank you for all your lovely comments and concerns over him. He's just so precious to me. I just can't wait to get him home. So that is my Cressida jumpsuit, and I've absolutely had a ball making it. Rosie was worried. She was saying, "Oh, you know, do you want to put it off with John being poorly and we can put it off?" I went, no, I need to make it. I need to get it made. I want to make it, and John will absolutely love it when he comes home. He will love it, because he loves all my sewing. He always says to me when I do the twirl in the lounge, I go, "Do you want to see the reveal?" And I do the reveal, and I show him what I've made. And then he'll go, "Oh, gorgeous, blah, blah, blah." And then he'll go, "So what are you making next?" He always says that. "Have you got some fabric? What have you got planned?" Always. Go and get your next one cut out. He really does. So I'm sure when he comes home, he'll see this. He'll absolutely love it. I know he will. So hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Have you made the Cressida jumpsuit? And what did you make it with? I'd be interested to know, because obviously I would like to make it again. So if you've got any ideas of what a good fabric to use, obviously I've got my eye on linen. But if you've made it in something else, let me know. If you like today's vlog, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, and please go over to see Rosie and see how her style is so different to my style. Same pattern, two friends, same pattern, but very different styles. And how amazing is that? Because we've all got our own style, and that's the beauty of dressmaking. There could be 30 women in the same room, and all giving the same pattern, and we would all create something totally different and unique, wouldn't we? Because we're creating from ourselves, and we're creating for something that we're going to wear for ourselves. And hopefully when you create, it's part of you that you're bringing out into what you make. Well, it is for me anyway, and it's always going to be floral. I do try seriously not to go for the floral, but it just calls my name, and I just love it, so why not? So thank you for joining me today. If you fancy having a go at a really simple jumpsuit, then definitely have a go at the Cressida jumpsuit by Sew Me Something. I'll pop all the links in the box below as usual for everything I'm wearing. I am wearing it today over one of my Freya hack tops. I'll put the link for that as well. I'll put the link for the fabric. You can still get this fabric on Minerva. I've just checked today, so it is still available. And yeah, and please don't forget to visit Rosie at Rosie Sews Modern Vintage. I shall put her channel also down in the box below. So until the next time, I'm off to do some more sewing, definitely, and I shall see you on my next vlog. Thanks for joining me today, and as always, please take care and happy sewing.